everyone, the LilNikster here with a video about the pros and cons of online high school. The program that I am doing is called Penn Online High School, which I will put a link to it below. So the pros of this are that it's self-paced, so you work at the pace you want. There's no real due date, so you can take as much time as you need. So if you are a slow reader, you can take as much time as you need to read a certain chapter, or if you're slow, just slow. I don't know. You get to set your own schedule, which comes in handy if you're a busy girl like I am, or busy guy. There's more time to do activities you wouldn't have much time for in public school, which for me is a huge one because I do Derby, I do Animal Rescue Foundation, I volunteer other places, I have church activities, I have friends in the social life too. And the next one is that tests are open book, open note, and yes, I do have a cheat sheet if you were wondering why I'm looking down. So like for example, this is my current book. This is the thing that I'm keeping to do my notebooks in. Well, this is actually a study guide. This is my book. I've been putting just vocab in here, and it helps a lot with exams. Also, if you write down your self-checks, that also helps. You can focus on one subject at a time, which Penn actually likes it if you do it that way because of the fact that you have to complete a certain number of exams before they will send you your next materials. There is less outside distractions, which is another great thing because I used to have so much trouble focusing at school, just with all the whispering and the texting and stuff. There's less stress from teachers if you're absent a lot, which was what I was. There's a lot of stress about getting in work. You don't have that. In fact, you don't have teachers, you have books. You control the environment you work in, so you can do your work with the TV on, you can do it with music on, you can control the temperature, which is sometimes a big problem for people. And you can have, for example, I like to do mine while I'm using the computer sometimes too, so I work on my social life and I work on my schoolwork at the same time. And there's no dress code, so wear your PJs, your shorts, your tanks. You could even do it naked if you wanted, just saying. And then you get to stay home when you're sick, which was another big issue because my parents hated calling the school every single day that I was absent for my stomach issues, which you'll hear more about when I make another video later. So that's the pros! The cons, dun dun dun. It can be expensive, but they have payment plans. The teachers don't give much help with work. In fact, you actually have to call a line if you want to talk to an administrator or a teacher or something. But there are online study groups like on Facebook, and they have I think study groups also on. There's Penn has like a forum that you can join and stuff, and that sometimes helps too. Limited interaction from students, but like I said, there's Facebook, and Penn has a forum, so you can do that way. There's not much of a social life, which to be honest, I don't have much of a problem with because I didn't have much of a social life to begin with. But I have now more time to spend time with my boyfriend. You can join sports teams to help with that. You can join clubs. Library has a lot of stuff that you can do if you have a library near you. There's no clubs or organizations, but again, you can join the Y. There's sports and activities you can do. There's homeschool groups too that will accept you. And also volunteer organizations. They always need help, especially Animal Rescue Foundation. We are desperate for volunteers right now. And I'm not just saying that because my mom's the assistant volunteer coordinator. And the last con that I have is there's no holiday breaks. But for me, that I don't really have a problem with that because sometimes it's nicer to do your homework on a weekend. So that's all the cons I have, really, like I said. But Penn is a great program. So I'm going to chop this and make a new clip. How Penn Foster works. You're probably wondering how that happens. Well, what that you do is the first course you go through is, well, the first 2 courses you do are an intro to online learning and then an intro to computers, which both were pretty easy. And they what they do is they send you your materials, or you can start with like by printing off the PDFs online, which is what sometimes I do. And then they give you a study guide. This is my Earth Science study guide, so it's a little thicker than the normal ones. Usually study guides are only about 56 pages, 50 to 90 pages. This one's about 100, almost 200. But, and then as you get into your core classes, they will sometimes send you an actual textbook. And in your study guide is where you will have like certain sections that you have to read, like this, and then you do self-checks just to help you with your understanding of the stuff you're learning. And then the self-check answers are in the back of the book, but I would not suggest cheating unless you have a hard time with free response like I do. And then, for example, like sometimes these are all you'll get, so that's all you have to do. But if you get a textbook, the study guide, you read the study guide first, like a certain page numbers, and then you'll read the page numbers that are assigned to you from the study guide in this book, or in whichever book is, like, you know, textbook. And so you'll read the certain pages of the textbook. I underline stuff with a pencil, and in the study guides I highlight. And then your self-check questions will be in here instead of in the book and in your study guide. For vocab, I recommend having a cute little notebook and writing any bold-faced words or italicized words. And then what you do is, after you've read a certain amount of pages, you will go online, or sometimes they'll send you your tests in a written form, in a typed up form, that you have to send back to them. But I found out that they're going to start changing that to make it where most of the exams are online. And then, so with the online exams, you hit start exam, and then you have it's all multiple choice usually. In fact, for me so far, it's all been multiple choice questions. And you can, if you need like any help, you can use your book to help, but don't cheat. Like, so that means don't like actually look for answers. I only look for answers if I get really, really stuck. And then, like, after you've, like I said, after you've completed a certain number of exams, they'll send you your next textbooks. Easy as pie! I'm in a little bit of a crazy mood today, so don't blame me. And that's all for this video. I will be making another video probably tonight or tomorrow about how roller derby has changed my life for the better. Hasta la vista, kids!